every woman that you meet is not here for your sexual pleasure. There are people that you meet that are here for various facets of your life. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about how different people in your life can serve different purposes. This could be someone that is a part of your professional network that can help you in the businesses that you're looking to get into. Or if you're in between opportunities, can lead you to the next opportunity. So
You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast.
No. Welcome to episode 41 of the Juxtaposition Podcast, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, aka the Starting Five, aka the Five Heartbeats, aka Four Hubbies and Impossible. I am your host, Varsfinio Hall. Here with the thank you, fellas. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I'm very strong in the fact that we have a lot to cover today. So I'm going to ask y'all how y'all are doing, and we're going to skip the question. We're getting right to business. Right to business. So we are here to amplify the voice of the modern Black man. This podcast will be successful. We describe or ask the question, can men and women be platonic friends? If you do not know what platonic means, this might not be the podcast for you. We appreciate you listening thus far. Thank you so much.
Don't let the pod hit you with the doorknob. Do your Google. Just do your Google.
All that. Or you can Google. Fellas, what's going on? Chef, what's going on, bro?
Cool. How you guys living today?
Man, it's a beautiful 80-degree day here in San Jose, California. I cannot complain.
No, it was 80 degrees here too.
We're global warming.
Exactly.
Global warming. See, Isa, what's going on? How was your weekend?
It was good, man. Interesting. My main highlight of my weekend I had to share with y'all was my youngest daughter decided that she wanted to not stand still on the soccer field after 2 games of not doing nothing. And then she just took over and scored 2 goals. Boy, I was like,
I only seen one.
Yo, she scored 2. You know how I give it. Yeah, yo, like, so Amber almost had a goal too. And I don't know what happened. She just like stopped, like froze. She was almost there. Amber got a little foot skill. She be doing her thing. But Ava, like, literally 2 games in a row was just frozen. Like, she didn't move.
Yo, we're gonna get back to Ava in 2 seconds. Do you think that if Amber plays sports and she started, let's say she played basketball and she hit like 5 threes in a row, you think that they call it an Amber Alert?
Oh, that's a good one. You got like trademark that, like, your uncle said it first. Like, like that's
an Amber Alert.
Word up. Yeah.
She and UConn.
If Stuart Scott was alive, that would happen on ESPN. Like, definitely.
So you said Amber or Ava hit 2 goals?
Ava did.
Ava hit 2.
Yeah. She came out her shell, yo.
You think she was like watching and observing, like, "Ooh, I can't wait, watch this."
That's what's up.
Nah, what happened was I asked her 2 games in a row why you froze, why you didn't move. Like, she did one of those, like, watch the ball go by her the first 2 games. And I'm like, what's wrong? It was too many parents, like, yelling. That's what she says. Like, she ain't like the whole crowd thing yelling. So I prepped her. I said, yo, listen, we're going to play. Don't worry about it. Don't even look at us. Just go play with your friends. Your friends is on the field. So I woke her up, gave her some breakfast, but I started playing her some pregame music. So
Rocky?
I started off with We Ready. And she was like, Dad, what is this? Yeah,
right.
I did. And then eventually I got to her jams, like my lip gloss was popping and I started playing something she like, and then some Lizzo or something, and then she just
that's interesting. Because I got mad questions of the week now. It's like, because I have an unconventional songs get me hyped to play basketball. Like, so remember,
I do.
Deja Vu in the SRC. They played at Beyonce Deja Vu. I'm raining through
hitting like 4 or 5 in a row. I'm like, all right, nigga, like, really? This is the song that gets you hyped?
I don't understand.
It is a dope song, though.
It is.
Doom.
Only J verse.
Disrespectful.
Respect Beyonce. Pulpit Poppy, happy to have you back, good brother.
Oh man, it is great to be back. I missed y'all, man. I hate not coming to the pod. I hate not being a part of the pod. But y'all held it down, man. It was a great episode last week.
What you get into for your birthday?
Yeah, what you did?
Man, I went out to San Francisco. It was a great time. And my wife actually planned this vacation as a mix of a birthday celebration and then also celebrating a new job opportunity that I'm starting on Monday, which is love.
Hey.
So it was great, man. I got to come out to the West Coast. Got to see my man Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, man, it was good. It was great catching up with y'all, man.
It was great catching up. My wife got hit on right in front of me.
Oh, that's a story. Oh, that's a story.
Yeah, see, this is all meant to be today, boy.
Oh, that's true. So Cleveland and his wife was in San Francisco, live in San Jose, which is about 45 minutes to an hour from where y'all were. They came down here. We went to brunch. Had some bottomless mimosas. And just because you can handle your liquor with bottomless mimosas, don't mean everybody else can.
Correct.
Day, I'm sitting, so imagine it's a table of four, we outside. There's people to our left, there's people behind us. Cleveland is sitting in front of me, but he can see behind me. So he went to the bathroom and his wife was sitting next to him. And then she starts talking like through me, so to speak. And she's like, is she talking to me? I didn't turn around. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And Cleveland's wife is like, I think she's hitting on me. And she's like, you talking to me? And she's like, yeah, like, you're cute. Come here. And she like was doing the finger and shit.
She told her to literally come here. She gave her, I'm like, yo, if you
came back from the bathroom and was like, I was going for 30 seconds. Like, what happened? And then Cleveland's wife was like husband. Shorty in the back was like, hi, husband.
Oh, man, disrespectful, son. I didn't know how to handle that.
I knew, like, man, you should have called me. You supposed to take that to the crib.
Yo,
to the house.
It was hilarious. We had a good time.
Damn, but it was a good time, man. Now I'm back. I'm back on the pod, back with y'all, man. It's good to see y'all.
Yeah, man. It was great. We also got a chance to go to the beach. So I also showed Cleveland where I used to live, which is like a beautiful place, and it's super weird to just see people surf. Like we just watched
the spot where we drove that one weekend.
Y'all, that was my third place. The first place I lived was Santa Cruz. We just casually watching people surf. Like
surfing is a real thing, bro. I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, it's all good until the white people with dreads be coming up behind you and Trader Joe's asking you what you think about social justice. It's like, yo, get the fuck out my face, man. Fuck out my face, man. Yeah, we missing Moneybag Yo this week. He is off taking care of his responsibilities, bro. Mm-hmm. We holding it down for you. Can't wait for you to get back. So we'll see you next week when you make your triumphant arrival.
Word up.
Triumphant arrival. I'm trying to hear some money stories. I'm trying to see what you've been doing since you've been gone.
Definitely. But
yeah, man, without further ado, we're just going to get right into the stuff. And we'll get into the shits. I'm going to kick it over to Zoe for you know what.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Hey, yo, Zoe knows this. Zoe knows that. Zoe light skin. Zoe stay black. Yeah. Y'all already know what the deal is.
Yeah. It's like Dr. Dre. Yeah.
And you don't stop. Anyway, so yes, for Zoe knows, y'all know my routine. Start off a little slow, start off a little sad, but we're going to end it on a decent note. We lost Black Rob. You know what I mean? That was another legend we lost. So, rest in peace to Black Rob. They had the DMX funeral over the weekend. Drove the casket on the back of a jacked up, pretty much monster truck.
That's like a big old Tonka truck.
Yeah, Rough Riders DMX joint. All of New York was pretty much locked down with the bikes out and the quads and all that stuff. Even kids with bicycles and one wheel and everybody, you know what I mean? So that was crazy. Then, unfortunately, we also had another shooting that came out, Andrew Brown out in Elizabeth, North Carolina, which is weird because when I heard Elizabeth, I'm like, wait, something happened up top, like by us, like, but then it was North Carolina.
It's Elizabeth City.
Yeah. So that's why when I first heard Elizabeth, I was like, what? And I'm like, dang. So it's crazy. I'm gonna breeze through it because like emotionally, it's like we still dealing with the trauma that we deal with as Black men. So he was a family man, 7 kids, so it's unfortunate. And next in the news, we had my Knicks was on a 9-game winning streak.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? They lost and then they picked up one again. So we like 10 of our last 11. We got the 4th seed, which is like crazy good news.
But y'all secured the 4th seed? Who did y'all overtake?
Well,
Milwaukee?
we got the tiebreaker as Atlanta, but we got the tiebreaker because we beat them twice.
Atlanta?
Yeah, the Hawks is in the tied for 4th with us right now. So second, 4th. So it's weird, man. The East just did a whole like 180 from the whole bubble situation, but playoff time is coming. This is like my favorite time of the year because like the first 2 rounds you got games like every other day.
Mm-hmm.
So like in multiple games a day. So this is like I'm in like sports heaven right now. But yeah, man, basically for the news, nothing to go crazy over, but in a good way. Let's just say that. So I want to keep it positive. I'm feeling good. I got the energy. We all know what happens. Y'all, please turn on the news, the real news, if y'all want to like be depressed for a little bit. But I'm not trying to. So I'm gonna bring it up, tell y'all about it. Y'all do y'all Googles today. I'm just not feeling like going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, let's choose joy, man. That's So Zoe, tell the people what your motto is for the year.
So last year's motto was play stupid games, win stupid prizes, which it's still kind of that's not an ongoing thing. But this year is make it make sense. Like, I need it to make sense. Like I've had a lot of odd situations that just didn't make sense. I don't like.
Right.
Most of it is customer service based. Like people just don't want to do their job or they don't know that is their job. I don't know.
You know when your boy about to fight, right? And you're like, he about to go crazy. You're like, nah, hold him back. I feel like whenever Zoe says 2 words, customer service, you got to hold him back. Like, nah, Zoe, chill out, son. Like, nah, they don't want it. Don't even do nothing crazy.
Listen, speaking of do nothing crazy, so it's funny you say that. So my mom, this happened to my mom, and I was telling my mom like how weird stuff been happening. Like people been acting like doing something that's not even really extra in their job is like make or break. Like they're gonna get fired. Like I went to a car wash and my back window was cracked, and I was like, "Damn!" The water kind of dripped down onto the arm of the door. So I asked the dude, like, "Yo, can I get the towel real quick? I'm about to just wipe it down." I pointed to it and everything, and he froze. He looked at me like I said something in Chinese or something, like Arabic, and he was like, "Huh?" I'm like, "The towel, like, can I?" I'm doing, you speaking in sign language, doing the wax on, wax off. And he looked back at his mans, like the manager, and then he was like, "Oh, nah, I can't." I'm like, "You can't give me the towel. You just wiped my whole car off, the whole outside, and you can't give me for 2 seconds just to wipe the door on." And then I was like, "Well, do you have paper towel? Like, I'll do it. Fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all gotta have napkins or something around here." And he just stuck. And I was like, "You know what? Never mind. Make it make sense, because I'm about to lose my cool messing with him." So that I was telling my mom about that, and then she told me how she went to. You can't mess with her. I don't know why people do it.
Nah, it's not a good idea.
She was in like a Wegmans getting coffee or something like that. The same spot she would go to for like the last 20 years. So she know all the district managers and all that, right? So the lady asked for what she wants. She asked for the coffee, and the coffee was like lukewarm. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker at all, but I know
coffee's supposed to be hot.
Yeah, I know even not drinking coffee that you cannot get nobody no used coffee. Like that's like some that's just to me is I don't even drink it, and I know that's a rule. You feel me? Like that's disrespectful. So my mom was like, "This is not, can you reheat this up?" And the girl just said no. Like they didn't even say I'm sorry or that.
I wish I was there. I just would like to be.
Listen, my mom said,
be there for that reaction.
Yeah, like, excuse me?
Just no.
And then so my mom went to, I guess there was like another manager there. So then my mom told the other dude and mentioned the district manager. And the dude was like, no, ma'am, I got you. Like, let's do this, and third. He probably cursed that other girl out like, do you know who she just mentioned? We all getting fired. Like, he know people. Like, but that's my... make it make sense, because I don't understand why you couldn't just heat it up. Like you gave it to me incorrect.
Yeah, so I say that to say, Zoe, for me, my saying this year is like, I'm choosing joy, man. I am not in the spirit of I'm not indulging in certain bad news. No. If I can check out, I will. I'm choosing joy, son. Even though my girlfriend's name is Tiffany, I'm choosing joy. She's not a woman, and if she was, she wouldn't be my friend. That'll make sense to you in about 15 minutes.
Let it marinate.
Yeah, just let that rock out.
Joy, pump it up.
The kids don't know about that.
Oh, my bad.
They don't know about
barbecue.
That. But how many barbecues is playing that? Followed by the butt? They're not playing. They're not playing that.
Yo, what's the name just did the butt on the award show the other night?
I know, Glenn Close.
Yeah.
Yeah, she played Cruella DeVille in 101 Dalmatians. Yeah, she did. Before we get into the main topic, something I want to ask y'all, but I don't want to stay here very long. Please don't stay here very long. We should probably begin to talk about things that we're watching on TV. What are we binging? What are we ingesting? Like, I'll stay here for 2 seconds. I watched this Amazon original show called Them. Have y'all heard of it?
I heard of it, but I never saw it.
Cool.
I did hear about it.
I'm just telling you, cinematography is great, period. I'll stop there. If you want to look at it, let me know, and we can talk about it. But we should talk about the things that we are watching. Okay, y'all ready to get into this heavy conversation about if men and women can be platonic friends? Can men and women be friends?
Let's go for it.
So let's start here. Steve Harvey was recently interviewed and they was asked this question. I'm not even sure if he was asked. He volunteered.
He was asked.
Okay. So he was asked the question around, can men and women be friends? And here's what he said.
All of my friends are men. I don't have female friends. I don't. I'm incapable of that. You're an attractive woman. There are some guys somewhere saying, yeah, we're friends. No, that's not true. He's your friend only because you have made it absolutely clear that nothing else is happening except this friendship we have. We remain your friends in hopes that one day there'll be a crack in the door, a chink in the armor, and trust and believe that guy that you think is just your buddy, he will slide in that crack the moment he gets the opportunity.
Because we're guys. Men think this way?
99.9% of us think that way.
So there's a few things that stand out to me that I want to highlight before I throw the questions off to you fellas. There are a few phrases that I caught that I want to just be mindful.
Slide the crack of the ass?
No, not that one. The first one is incapable.
Okay.
The second thing is make it clear, meaning the women made it clear. The third one is in hopes. The fourth one is crack in the door. And the last one is slide in. So those that's the construct that I want us to, think about. Those are the words that stood out to me. But the question is, how do y'all feel about Steve's perspective?
I think it's a perspective that is shared by a lot of men. I think there are a lot of men who have ulterior motives when it comes to being friends with the opposite sex, with women.
Right.
And so he's speaking on behalf of those men who are creeping and waiting on the side, waiting for that crack in the door, waiting for their opportunity to step in. So there is some merit to what he's saying for some people, for sure.
Chef, how you feel about what he said?
I think that it was a general statement. And to Cleveland's point, I think most men aren't going to just have platonic relationships with women unless there's a hidden agenda. In most cases, I can see where he's coming from with that. I don't disagree, with the idea that most men won't, but I think there's a lot to still unpack with just those 5 things you've named. That's what kind of piqued my attention. So
no, that's a fact. And that's for me, it's my perspective is that he used the word incapable.
Right.
That's strong, yo. It speaks to urges. That speaks to discipline. That speaks to immense weakness in that. Like, for me, Steve Harvey is a very successful man. Let's not get beside ourselves. So he also could be being facetious when he says incapable. But if I'm taking him at face value, incapable of being friends with a beautiful woman is strong. That's very, very strong.
Just as strong as the 99.9% statistic that he threw out at the end as well.
Yeah,
that's a blanket statement.
It's mean. It's mean. So how do you feel about what he said?
I feel that Steve Harvey, who I respect, on these specific topics, I feel he sells us down the river. He sells men.
Who's us?
Men in general.
Okay.
The male species. He's already written a book of the whole, what was it?
Think Like a Man.
Think Like a Man. And he's violating guy code. Where's MTV?
Okay.
He's violating guy code. But not even that. It's just like, all right, bro, like some stuff you getting carried away. I don't agree 100% at all. Because the friends that we are friends with, like maybe we're friends with them because we're not attracted to them and never will be, or I don't know. Like, I don't think it's because the woman, or he said the female, but the woman doesn't like pretty much throw a gate up and we're like, oh, friend zone. That happens at times. But how long does that last? No dude is sticking around, to my knowledge, unless they like obsessed. That's obsessive. But
you know what we be talking about, Zoe, when we say like, why don't you want to play with my frog? So my question be like, so I'm not fine? So she can't just be friends with, so I'm just chopped liver, huh?
Yeah, I'm just like, what if I'm the cat? What if she want to go this way? Like,
what if she want to swing my way? What if I'm putting her way? Can men put women in the friend zone?
Absolutely.
Been there, done that.
But that's like stuff we never hear about. Like, that's like how we say, can men be like assaulted or whatever? Like, we just don't.
What? Let's double down. Let me start here. I know that we have a growing listenership of women, like loyal listenership of women. And I want to speak to them because I feel like they're in their cars going nuts. These niggas is lying. They don't know it. Yeah, right. So can y'all give me an example of how you have friend zoned a woman, nicely, but like you friend zone a woman because you just weren't interested and she happens to be attractive? Does anybody have a short story that you want to tell to kind of make it? I have one, if y'all not ready, to like drive the point home.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly, just because I saw the value of having a platonic relationship, and I know myself, and I know if I dive into some situation that relationship is not going to be what it's supposed to be. I won't be able to benefit the most of the relationship if I don't keep it as platonic. And that was just my rationale behind it. It was just seeing the long term versus the short term.
That's a fact. I also feel that way. You find that you have a rapport with a woman. And for me, I like friendship. Like, nobody on this podcast has ever had a shortage of women's attention. So you can honestly get a chance to choose friendships based on the fact that you actually like this person. None of us are thirsty. I think what Steve is speaking to is a thirsty man, a man who has desires, right? But if you experience different people and they give you a certain energy, I feel like some of the best friends you can have are women. Their perspective is fire. They can joke with you. You get insight, all types of stuff. And I feel like if you just put your dick in your pants, fellas, you might learn a thing or two.
I appreciate that delineation you just made, Var, with thirsty dudes versus just the average guy. Right. So a thirsty dude is going to stick around to see if he can hear the cracks in the ice, so to speak, to see if he can jump in and save her from drowning. Right. But like the average guy who has options isn't going to sit and wait around for his quote unquote opportunity for anybody. Because if I have options,
I'm on to the next.
Right. If you just want to be friends, we can be friends if you're in a position where you want to be friends with someone new. You know what I mean? But like, I like how you made that delineation. I think.
Can I say I've never wanted to be friends with anybody who quote unquote friend zoned me?
Oh, okay. Talk about that.
If I like you, if it's one-sided, I'm not here to be your friend. You created that boundary and I respect the boundary and I'm actually going away from it. Now I'm gone, ghost. I'm not staying around.
So is that to say you were only there to hit?
Correct. I like the person. They probably didn't like me, but that's not every female friend. You know what I'm saying?
And there's nothing wrong with that
situation. Like I've been friend zoned. I've had to friend zone. In fact, I've friend zoned. Cleveland and I both had friends on the same person at one point, who magically came one day to our dorm room and told us that they like kind of like both of us in a weird situation, but it was kind of strange. I thought I think I don't know if that was like a joke by the person and they was just trying to test the waters. You know how some people do that, like throw the reel and see what bites.
Yeah, you know what? You know what makes me. You know what this makes me think of, and I know that Chef he gonna feel me on this. There's also this myth that men don't turn down sex. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but there's also like you've heard like, are you kidding me?
We'll hit anything. No.
Yeah, like
we know some guys that do. We know
for
a
sure,
couple of them. They're like, damn, did you see the eyebrows on that tree?
Shut up, son.
I want to just to reference the thirsty, drowning, Elaine. You know, if you can maintain your thirst, the person that you're dealing with, if she's attractive, will lead you to more water, and that's really the point in recognizing you don't have to knock everything down. That's bad. Like, doesn't make sense to it anyway, because then you just limit your options. You know, because
put it away, man.
Bad friends hang with bad friends. So
obey your thirst.
Can you go? That's a bar. Can you go a little deeper there? Bad friends hang with bad friends. What does that mean?
More specifically, like women are more intentional about the group of people that they keep around, the women that they keep around them, right? They all the same quality, same caliber, same goals. They're most of the time you find a pack of women that hang out together, they all have really similar characteristics and qualities. So if you pull up on a baddie, right, and you befriend the baddie, she's gonna bring you to the water, right? So
yes, she is.
She can lead you to the water.
You don't have to go ahead and knock everything down, or attempt to, you know, and that's to kind of carry on the verb's idea of why you don't have to knock everything down and why you should preserve your energy.
Well, I will tell you this though, there are exceptions. I wish.
Hold on, so before you go to the opposite, I want to make sure that people understand what Kev just said here. If you see an attractive woman, relax, bro. You can befriend her. You can relax, and not on a Steve Harvey relax, waiting for your opportunity. But in about a couple months, they're gonna do brunch. You might get an invite.
Wait for the opportunity to see the crew,
and you might.
She might not even be the best one in the crew.
You see, that's a little bit more barbaric. I was going to say it a different way. I was going to say that the addition that she, her model might be, might not be your speed, but you might find like, I like this one better, and let me sit in that seat and see what's going on over there. Cause
you just said what I said nicer. Whatever.
Yo, the fact of the matter is that everybody is not every woman. Brother. Every woman is not here for your sexual pleasure. Right? Every woman that you meet,
talk to them, pulpit.
They're not.
Every woman every woman that you meet is not here for your sexual pleasure. There are people that you meet that are here for various facets of your life. We talked about this a few weeks ago when we were talking about how different people in your life can serve different purposes. This could be someone that is a part of your professional network that can help you in the businesses that you're looking to get into. Or if you're in between opportunities, can lead you to the next opportunity. So I think it's just important to really analyze each relationship. And for me, I think it's really important to be very, very cautious about who you lay with in general, period. But just know that every woman is not there for your sexual pleasure. That's all.
That's a bar for sure.
Say it. All right, now can we get to the I'm not gonna get to the opposite, but I do know Kev and I, all of us on this podcast know if
don't get bitches. We know.
No. If Moneybag,
take that.
Now you trying to get me out. No, you can leave it in, but I'm gonna deny. Now, Moneybag, if he was here, he would tell you that there is a person that we know that's the exception to the rule that looks good but has a whole bunch of ugly ass friends, and that he feel like it's like. You ever maybe it's a confidence thing? I don't know.
Yeah, like a self-esteem. Like you want to be
he's like,
want to be the baddest.
How is that a possibility? Like, I've even asked him years ago, back when we knew this person. Like, yo, they ain't got any all right friends. He was like, nah, they all ugly.
They all. Let me put an asterisk. They all may not be your type, Zoe.
There you go.
Yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and not beholding the beauty from my eye. All right.
I'm gonna jump in and say, like, I get that. Not every. I'm not saying that. All right, I might have said. Did I say every bad? No, I said
no.
Okay.
You just said a baddie.
I was just bringing it up.
That's a thing. It happens, you know. Always,
I think more to what Chef is saying is more right. Like if you attracted to a certain one, just be easy. Put it in your pants, my man. Like use it later. Do not just be easy.
Scope the scene first.
I'm happy to have this conversation.
Yeah, man. Let's go a little further. When it comes to women who are your friends, have you had any issues trying to bridge the gap between your partner and your friend who happens to be a woman?
What was the question again?
Have you had any issue trying to bridge the gap or trying to make sure that your wife knows that, like, you know, because I think that most of the time women who are our friends kind of tend to stick around. Like if they're platonic, they stick around over seasons. They done seen you through multiple different relationships, but each relationship you might have to explain, like, this is the homie. Have you had any contention in trying to bring, you know, this is my homie to?
I have an easy answer for that, so I'm gonna go first on this one. Okay. I have to be honest. I don't have a lot of female friends that aren't my family. I'll be real with you.
You also have a big family.
I have a huge family. I was going to say that. I have a huge family and I have a lot of female cousins. So a lot of the advice I would get from women come from my cousins who are women. Right. So I really never had that issue. I have women that I'm cool with. I have women that I work with that have become cool, but that's still a little bit different because it's not like the homie, so to speak. So I've never really run into that, only because for me, the women that I have in my life that are my friends are my family. So
well, let me zoom out. Let me zoom out, and not specifically to the people y'all are with now. Have you ever had an issue introducing your then girlfriend to the homie who happens to be a woman?
Oh, yes. Can I backtrack? Now that you reframed it? All right.
Yeah, my bad.
So I can be a little more transparent then. Like, not more transparent, but I can address that question a little differently. So I was in a relationship for a long time, and then we broke up. But within that relationship, this person was very close to my daughter. So in entering new situations, I was letting people know that this situation exists. It's not romantic. It was at one point, but it no longer is. So
I already beat and I don't want to beat anymore.
Trying to bridge that gap was difficult, to say the least. It always caused
Was it the previous aspects of y'all being intimate or being together that was the hardest to get over?
Oh, absolutely.
But there's a product involved, so that's probably a little bit more.
No, I'm not talking about. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about.
I'm about to say that's a little.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, man, we can't do the inside jokes on the pod, right, man.
So what I'm saying is I'm not talking about the biological.
Okay.
I'm talking about someone else who kind of like was around.
Befriended.
Befriended. Yeah.
Well, I mean, y'all know my homies, so like, I've never.
She all our homies. Shout out to Alejandro.
That's what
man.
I'm saying. Shout out to Al. Yeah, I mean, so I never really had an issue.
Dragon.
I had my two homies is probably Alejandro and Danielle. Shout out to Danielle, right? And I've never had any significant other maybe voice it to me, maybe because maybe because of my passion about, like, those are my peoples. They've been here since day one. But it's also like, I took a book out of Kev's page where it's like, it's how
you want to say it again?
You took a book out of Kev's page.
I mean, I took a page out of Kev's book. Damn, I'm sorry. Woo. Yo, keep that in there. That's definitely going to bloopers. Like, you know, I be saying shit backwards. So
yeah.
Anyway, I took a page out of Kev's book, and where Kev, like I said years ago when I met him, I peeped his game. Like, yo, everything he established a marker like
demarcation.
He puts like, yo, this is where it's at. So you either in or you not. this is where it's at. So you can't say you ain't know. You can't say like it's no surprises, whatever. Mm-hmm. So when I meet people or I say whatever, and we talk about my friends, like within a couple of weeks of us having an intimate or talking, you're gonna meet the homie, like especially at that time frame, because we was always a crew. We was hanging out. So it's like and if you throw any shade or feel away, you know,
speaking
of have a way.
Speaking specifically to Alejandra, I think she's a good case study. What Al would do is know the important person in your life. When that person is around, she makes the introduction herself.
Yeah, she don't violate. She makes sure that she feel comfortable. Like, yo, I ain't listen. That's my. She
disarms herself, and I think that's something else of a reason why I think men and women can be friends, because the boundaries have to be set up. If the woman who is your friend knows that you love this person or you're growing love for this person, they have to do their best to disarm themselves and not make it weird. Like, you gotta be like, oh no, that's her, because I'm sure you didn't talked about her around, you know what I mean? But if your friend that's a woman sees the woman that you know, your partner or potential partner, and she starts grabbing your arm and starts doing the little insignificant things that we don't catch, but our potential partner catches, that's bad news, because now she may want you there for your attention, or they just want to have some male attention around, and she's used to having you by herself. But you got to look out for those things, because those are the ones that'll get you caught up.
Well, you know them that touch. You know what I said the last time we had a conversation. Like, yo, don't lean and laugh, nigga. Like, you better laugh in place. Like, don't
touch my arm either. Don't touch my arm. Don't touch my arm.
That's never.
We good.
No, that's a good point though, because it's just like you have to be mindful in a man's place, right? You have to know, you have to understand like what's being done. You have to understand the intention of, if your homie is drawing your attention or need your attention, and you might have invited her to a dinner and your potential partners around, and she doesn't introduce herself, that's a red flag. Right?
Facts.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you should be introduced, but she doesn't take the initiative to do that, then that's a red flag. Because she's the homie, right? It's not like, it's just like anyone you guys are walking up and saying hello, should be the same kind of like action. But yeah, I mean, those things are important. Like, an action item in terms of how do you diffuse that situation. If she's grabbing your arm, I think what you should do is, if she's grabbing your arm, you recognize that's a thing. Yeah, that's when you got to grab her arm, walk over to your significant other, and say, "Hey." Make that connection. Make her
do it.
Yeah. Like, hey,
use that moment.
Hey, you doing the club dance? We grab your homies.
Look at us. Look at us all
Look
here.
at all of us holding arms. All of us are holding arms. Not just me and her.
Hey, somebody look at this.
Yo, I have a funny story that's more real life that I think Chef and Zoe were there for specifically, but I don't know if y'all were paying attention. So for my graduation brunch that we had, that was Tiff's first time being around my greater friend group. Talked about them, not y'all, but like the California friend group. Okay. So as soon as she walked in, now these women have heard about her because I talked about I was super gassed up that I was about to make her my girlfriend, all those things. So she walked in the spot and she's lasering like, pew, 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 pew. She had a whole report in me in 5 minutes. She likes you. She likes you. She don't know that she likes you. And she likes you. I'm like, what? I'm like, yo. Right. So if most of my graduation brunch like party was, I would say like 60% women, because that's who I kind of vibe with out here. But when she told me that, I began to look at different things, and not to say that any specific people did, but it made me more aware. And she told me in the coolest way, she's like, you gotta be careful who you give your friendship to, because I want to be friends, but that don't mean that it's the same way on the other side. Yeah. And I was like, oh,
because a friendship for some people is an introduction to a process to what they're trying to achieve.
Step
right?
one.
That's
and that's what Steve was talking about.
Right. The guys that's waiting in the wings. But let's take it, let's advance it another step. Let's talk about the guys who at work buy the ladies gifts, buys them lunch.
It better be secret fucking Santa. That's all.
Opening doors and is not security. Let's talk about work husbands and work wives.
Opens doors and is not security. Stop it.
Shut up, yo. I'm dead.
How do y'all feel about the concept of work spouses, work wives, work? You know what? Before I ask you that question, let me define what a work spouse is or what a work husband is.
I got a wrench in your system too after this, but go ahead.
Okay, I'm ready for that. Work husband or work spouse is a colleague of the opposite sex whom you can trust, who has your back, and that you have a close relationship. Also, another definition is a coworker with whom you have a special relationship, having bonds similar to those of a marriage. How do you feel about the concept of work husbands, work spouses?
You know what's unfortunate is that
he said, I'm done with Kev. Yo, the way he came in, go ahead, Kev.
It was unfortunate is that a third of the day he is spent at work. And, you know, and the other third, she's sleeping.
Oh, that's it,
so
yo.
You get a measly little.
Nah,
but he got the same time you got, basically.
No. He got more time because you got to think. You got to commute to and from. Yep. That's just eating into your time. You might get five of her good hours.
Yeah, you get like 3 hours.
3 to 5.
Meanwhile, Ralph got 8.
Full 8.
Ralph.
You know, and that's what's unfortunate about Bobby. It doesn't balance to me. You know what I'm saying?
Like, how do you like? I don't know how I feel about, you know, my shorty informally telling Ryan what his favorite flowers are. Like, nah, I don't want you to know that. I don't want you to know her weekend either. But I can't be a hypocrite because when I was single, I was a work husband. I was in that space.
I don't think
I didn't jump to that.
I never worked somewhere where people look good. So I felt like everywhere I worked, people was ugly.
If I'm being transparent, because this is what this podcast is about, there have been people who have been like pseudo work spouses with that were in relationships, and there's no line. There's like, we barely talk outside of work. But there have been some that were single too, and I knocked it down. So it just depends on where my respect level was and the kind of guy that I am. Now, there is sleazeballs who don't care what's going on. You know what I mean? They might be in the same room with her, sharing a cubicle.
I think that's 90% of work husbands, though. They know you. That's the whole reason why it's called a work husband.
Have you been a work husband?
No, I haven't, but let me explain. So I don't think I have. Like I said, I don't think I worked somewhere where I like cared to like, I don't really talk to nobody like that at the job. You know, I wasn't a fan. I'm like, I can't say that I have. I mean, Cleveland had to tell me with the jobs that we had, but I don't think so. I don't think nobody liked me enough to talk to me either. But I just feel like the terminology in my eyes is someone who's already occupied that has a real husband, and then they go to work, and that's why it's called work. Because I don't hear single people saying like, that's my work husband. I just don't. I never heard no single person say that shit. I always think it's like what we call.
I think it can be.
I mean, it could be, but like you're not even married, so you only use the word husband, so to speak, right? So like,
yeah, I get it.
Var, you know, my terminology was serious joke, right? So I feel like it's married people's serious joke, like haha. But wait a minute, like
right,
exactly.
I don't care where I'm living. Don't come in this door to talk about no fucking work husband, work wife. Don't, no.
When y'all ready to put my wrench, I'm gonna throw a wrench. We'll go ahead. I want to hear everybody else.
I want to hear what Chef and Cleveland have to say about.
Let me hear y'all opinion.
I think, I just hate the term work husband in general, because especially
taking my place.
Right, exactly. For that reason. Whoa. Like, I put in time, effort, and energy into being your husband.
That's my point.
Don't be giving that label to somebody even off of fun, hee ha ha. Nah, that man is not your husband. Word. This guy right here is your husband. Me. That's who.
I appreciate that.
And my thing too.
Scarface.
Exactly. My thing too is that, like, what we were reading the article Var before we pre-show. And one of the terms used was something like non-physical intimacy or something of that nature. And the thing about non-physical
foreplay,
yo, you hit the nail on the head. That's where I was going. Non-physical intimacy leads to physical intimacy. So intimacy is one bucket, And when you get in that bucket, it's easy to slide over to another area of the bucket.
Is that in Leviticus?
Nah, it's the book of Job.
Hey,
at the job, book of jobs.
There is above all else guard your heart, because that's where the issues of life flow from.
Book of jobs.
Book of jobs. Yo, I remember we were singing this song in church, and my pop wrote the lyrics down for people to learn it, and the verse said Job waited, and everybody was like, Job waited.
Oh my God.
It's not job. It's not job.
It's Job.
Y'all need to read your word.
I think it's supposed to be an E at the end, but
it should be. It should be, but like it's Job. But now,
thou
man,
shalt not have a work husband.
Not
Job
at all.
6.
Not at all. But yo, that's my thing is like, don't ever give somebody a title like husband, because there's so much that comes with that, even for play. And then on top of that, like, you got to watch intimacy, man. One form of intimacy to another. It definitely does.
My serious joke when I hear the work husband shit is like, I don't know who you like. If I come like, why the seat lean back, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. You know, I always gotta talk about shit, right? I'm like, starting.
Nah, we had a lunch break.
Yeah, like, nah, we okay. It was a group of us. I was like, listen, I don't give a fuck what you talk about, but if a nigga had his seat lean back, I need that fucking payment. It's $359 a month for the fucking car. Don't play with the God. All right. If you go and claim or whatever, I need a payment for the real husband. Okay, thank you.
At least
much.
Insurance.
Something.
I don't know where you've been.
Seriously.
But Chef, you were co-signing what Cleveland was saying you appreciate what he was mentioning.
Yeah, because I had to address in the most cunning and, you know, funny way with my wife about calling somebody else love. I'm like, don't do that.
Seriously. That's me.
That's over here, mama.
You keep that here.
Keep that over here.
No. I'm love. I'm love. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of
like what?
You know when girls be like, my name ain't Jane, it's Babe. Don't call me by my name. My name is Babe. Okay. All right.
Just being mindful. Just being mindful who you call who. But to Zoe's point, I've never heard a single person play his work husband, work wife stuff, right? It's always married folks, I want to play these games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's their way of staying single for a half a second.
Yeah, for sure. To live that life.
Or 8 hours. Hold on. Cleveland, let me get to Zoe's wrench. Pause. Go ahead. Go give me your wrench.
All right, so let me ask you these two. This is like a double. So what if this is 2021, right? So you gotta kind of fast forward with today's times, right? What if your significant other says their work husband is like the gay dude at the job? How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like that nigga faking? Like, he ain't really gay. Like, yo, stop playing, nigga. Like,
I won't think that, because
he
that's
so
arrogant
that he gotta play. So
I think that it changes things.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I think the thing
you can keep it. Yo,
go ahead, man. Rock out.
I'm gonna add another spin to Kev's keep it, but go ahead.
The thing that I think makes the work husband a topic is because, not to say you're threatened, but he's a threat.
Correct.
And this is subconscious. This is not like I'm scared of him, but like, you know, we are not arrogant enough to think that our people are only attracted to us.
That we untouchable.
Yeah,
yes, we are very
right.
Yes. So
it's the aspect that a man, a heterosexual male, is showing your woman attention Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
Okay,
it's
exactly
the threat.
Full time.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: what if? Shut up, Kev. Here we go. Kev killing me. So look, all right, let me ask you this: now, what if Now, how do you feel about this? Might be going down a different rabbit hole, but how do you feel about if the work husband, like, let's say you hear the jokes of the conversation with like your real wife and the work husband, and then there's somehow, some way, somebody be like, yeah, hi, and then he just touched my titty. Like, wait, what? Like,
no touching.
Are you supposed to be okay with that because of they quote unquote status, or that's where like you feel like, nah, nigga, really fraud now? Like,
listen here.
Listen
here.
Look at here.
Nah, that's not cool. It's no intimate touching at all. Like, period.
Regardless
like,
of
I don't
preference
care.
or orientation.
Orientation,
keep
gender.
Keep the small of her back out of the big in your hand. Leave it alone.
See, there you go. The big in your exactly. Okay, I'm just asking general. This is 2021 stuff, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, we gotta speak into today's.
Nah, you're right. Because the work husband could and might be somebody who identifies as gay. And that's
the one other, the one friend. Everyone, they say females always had a one gay friend, so it might be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where they kind of get like a sort of half male perspective, but then like it's one of the girls.
Now, here's the thing. Now, let's be clear. I don't know how y'all feel. This same energy is kept if it's an aggressive woman who also happens to be gay. Oh. Hey, yo, fam, relax. So it's the threat of somebody wanting my partner. It's like
Young and May, fall back.
It don't. If Young and May is talking to Tiff, I'm up in it. Like, what you talking to us?
You know, that's competition too. Mm-hmm. That's still competition.
You talking to us?
She come for the kill. She's come for the kill on your end. She come for your head. So
she all in the air. She's shorter than me, so she talking crazy. Nah, man, I ain't got time for that.
Got the same amount of chin hair, so you might want to.
Right. So it must mean my girl likes baby faces, so I might be out of the ballpark.
Word.
So all right. So safe to say, y'all not fucking with the work husband thing.
No. But let me ask you part two. What about if your significant other, who all of us are heteros, so our significant other is a woman, says that this is my work wife and it's another female, but they're not. That work wife is not homosexual. They're
right. It's just like it's like her shorty, like her bestie, her work bestie.
Now, do you think a little crazy like, yo, y'all bitches be trying to bag niggas at lunch, like?
No,
this going out to happy hour together. Y'all think like Justice happy League. Hour?
No, I just need y'all to know that I've been friends with Alonzo since 2004, Cleveland since 2003,
and Cam since 06.
These ideas have been coming for almost more than 15 years.
This is not
now.
new. This is not like a
none
current
of this
situation.
None of this is new.
This is me being new to telling y'all. Like, Justice League. This is me telling y'all.
No, I don't think
like,
that.
Yo, like, oh wait, hold up, y'all
down here cruising for a bruising,
and then exactly. All right, Kim, y'all going out together as work wife, and then like y'all over there. Come on.
I do. We're gonna get back to the point because we're talking about men and women. The one thing that does give me cause for pause is if your shorty has a friend who don't really have the greatest standards. You know what I mean? She might be a little more free than my girl is. So that's a whole nother conversation because what my man Chef said was birds of a feather. And sometimes, right. So that's the only thing that makes me nervous if I had a shorty that was going out.
Girl?
What happened to that girl? Zoe spoke on it. I wanted to get Chef and Cleveland's opinion. We asked the question about Steve Harvey's perspective. Do you either of you have significant relationships with women that are not romantic? Well, Cleveland, you said it's your cousin, but you kind of spoke on it already. But Chef, how about you?
I do. I mean, definitely do. And, definitely had to break barriers. Definitely had to do the introduction thing. They've had to make everyone comfortable and identify where the boundaries are. The goal was to make my spouse comfortable as possible, regardless. So that was. But in saying that, I also had experiences where throughout the different relationships that I've grown into, I also got the chance to learn how to
the right ways.
Yeah, because in the beginning, I could tell you because I've been in a few relationships. I'm not gonna really go the number, but the first relationship when I had an associated best friend that was a different sex. It was interesting because I kind of wanted it to be organic in my mind, and I didn't really do the whole introduction thing. I kind of wanted it to just be normal and natural, and it wasn't. Unfortunately, I learned that I had to initiate that comfort space or that comfort, that space. I had to initiate the space where everyone was comfortable, basically. And but then you kind of go through your relationships where the person you're with has doubts that the person that you're claiming as your friend is your actual friend, and and you go through that, and then you go through just learning about how to, create those boundaries as early as possible. So, I have and learned how to overcome those challenges, which is making everyone comfortable, which is probably like the most important thing.
And that's something you said the word boundary, which I was going to talk about next. I touched on it a little bit, and you also just touched on it about trying to make that connection yourself. But what other boundaries? You know what? I'm gonna take it up a notch. Speaking to my man A. Gales when I was in Jersey.
A. Gizzles.
A. Gales has a friend who is a woman. Did y'all know? You know what I mean? Pink joint. She, you know what I mean? She was that rider. right. You know what I'm on?
My limo driver.
Yeah, you know what I'm on. So his perspective was real. His perspective was real gully. Like he was like, nah, her man know me. I can call her if I need her at any time. I said, my man, you don't have no boundaries? Because he said, nah, because if I'm calling her, then I need her. And I was like, yeah, but just because you know homeboy don't mean that if it's 11:30 p.m. or if it's 6 a.m., she's cuddling with me, bro.
I love my brother. He learned from his first situation.
I was about to say, I mean,
you can't play with people's. You know?
Yeah,
That's at the end of
like
the day, you can call that what you want to do, and because what he has to understand is that the level of
you come second or third or fourth or fifth.
She's trying to establish with this new person is way beyond what you can offer her. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, he's going to become her husband, and then the father to her kids. You slowly start to fall lower and lower down that totem pole line, my brother. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
it's better to demote yourself than to be demoted. Yeah,
like we said, make yourself. We said Alejandra like she.
I think. She diffuses herself. She diffuses herself.
Yeah, make it less threatening, less.
Yeah, put the guns away. Yeah, all that.
If you know, I know Cleveland wants to jump in, but if you know that's her new situation, why even create that kind of conflict or
exactly. Boundaries are important, man, because there's certain things that should be reserved for your significant other and for your significant other only. So like boundaries are important because like I don't want to hear that you did something with me that you do with somebody else as well, if that's our thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I have a funny question. I have a really funny question that can't wait.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is funny.
This is funny.
It better be fucking funny the way he lined it up.
Right. In my life, if there's ever been a woman who wanted to have lingerie like for me, for my enjoyment, my only caveat is I better be the first man to ever see this shit. Don't give me no used lingerie.
Like the used coffee, right? Don't give me no used drawers. How many niggas saw this?
Like, if you're gonna buy it for me, buy it for me.
When you get married, right? When you get married, I'm gonna tell you this. I never said it out loud, but it definitely
ain't no lingerie, nigga.
Nah. Like not even just lingerie, just regular ass drawers. They all gotta go, all of them.
Oh, bro.
Everything we going to Victoria's Secret because your secret was already out. We getting a whole bunch of new shit.
I can't. Yeah.
I don't want you to lean and then another nigga like, yo, I know those drawers. Like, nah.
That's the gray. That's the gray. Ain't no gray.
That's the gray joint with the pattern on it.
Nah, that's the pink lace. I used to like that. Cola.
Yeah, nope.
Sorry. So we used to call her.
Try again.
Also, another thing, since we on the rant, if I ever go to my if I ever go to my girl's old hood and somebody call her a name that's suggestively sexual, we got issues.
What you mean, like
no, me and him.
What you mean, like the name, like, oh, that's Juicy Tip, like some shit like that?
Like, hey, yo, relax. Relax, though.
I'm just saying, I was just trying to, I ain't understand, so pardon me. I'm just trying to, like, help me help you.
That was a yo moment. Hey, yo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a hood, people always go too far with their hood nicknames.
Like. It is, but I was thinking of the soul food joint we was talking about, and in the soul food movie, there was Nia Long's character who her name was Bird, and she had this dude that was always on her heels. So the guy that I don't know what the dude's name was, but let's call him Pretty Ricky, right? So
he was irrelevant.
Right. Pretty Ricky wanted Bird, so Bird knew that she could use Pretty Ricky because he was an executive to get her man, who was a blue collar worker, a job. So he got her husband, Lem, the blue collar worker, a job through Pretty Ricky. So Pretty Ricky took it upon himself to have lunch with Lem which is Bird's husband, and he, you know what I mean? He talking and he's like, oh, you didn't know? Cola told me you needed a job. Yeah, Cola.
Lunch.
And he was like, Cola? He said, yeah, because you know, the way that she was shaped was like a Coke bottle. He licked his lips, and it's like, nah, ain't no grown man. Ain't no grown man calling a girl Cola in front of me. No.
You're trying me though. If you saying shit like that,
that's why I said we got issues.
Yeah,
we have problems. Okay, my rant is over. I just wanted to let that.
Yo, but that's up there with the one I told y'all about. Where remember with the joint you said they was acting, and homeboy was like, "Yo, you got a good one right here," or something shit like that.
Don't you dare tell me how good my girl is. The fuck out of here. I know.
I don't care what you talking about. I don't care if you say she was a good speller, nigga. Like I don't even.
And it's always the real. No. It's always the real cinch. It's always the real. Don't even tell me she real hard. Good. And he try to bring you in like, yeah, you got a good one, yo.
Yeah, you catch one of these on your shit like,
nah, you gotta stop. Where do y'all stand? We opened up with, have you friend zoned a woman? Have you been friend zoned and been okay with that?
No.
No.
Tell me
more.
Never
been friend zoned and liked it. No.
Nah, never. Like, because when you say have you been friend zoned, the initial intent of the relationship was for it to be romantic, and then
at least on one part,
and then it came to be that, okay, this is not what I want. I want you to be my homie. Nah, that's not going to work, because my initial intent was for it to be romantic, and at the phase of where I was in my life, I didn't want no new friends. I didn't want no more friends. I didn't need that. I felt that it just would complicate my life, so I was like, nah, I'm good. So yeah, I mean, I've been friend zoned, but I wasn't that Steve Harvey guy that he was describing in that clip that we played earlier. I wasn't going to wait in the wings for the ice to crack. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Or cracking the door, slide in is what he said.
Yeah. What's like, that's the worst is that it's like proposing to somebody and them telling you no, you still hang in that relationship.
It's over, bro.
I know we about to derail. No, you can't. Kev asked the question. I say that all the time. Because you ever watch these shits on TV where the girl like say no or run off or like whatever, or even on Instagram?
Or hit the dude in the head with the guitar, like the one joint.
What?
Oh my God.
You ain't see that one?
I saw that.
Oh, he was playing the guitar and proposed. He got on his knees.
It was a Spanish girl.
Instead of saying no, she took the guitar and said, bang.
Yeah, it was
went upside his head.
Yeah, she laced him.
I'm like, that
but then there was another one where the black girl left, and then everybody in the mall came and gave him a hug. Like,
oh yeah, I saw
that one. That was at the mall. That was at the Galleria in Houston.
So look, here's the deal, right? Me and my wife had this conversation in real time, like back in the day, right? We was laid up watching that shit on TV. Like, so this girl got proposed to at a Sixers game, and dude came out the present on the court. And she was like, no, and just ran off in the back of the into the like the tunnel where the players come. So I looked at her. I said, "Listen, let me explain something to you. I like to do shit on a grand scale. So that's some shit that I personally would do. I don't know whether you would like it done that way, but I don't really care because I'm paying for it, right? But in the case that I do that and you are not ready to get married, say yes, and we'll discuss it later.
In the car.
Don't embarrass me in public. And then when people years later say, yo, whatever happened? Like, don't worry about that. We'll give a good political answer like, it just ain't work out. We wasn't ready yet. I was premature. I'll take the L later, but we're not going to do the embarrass me in public.
I can't. Right.
And she said, I agree with that. So it was weird is because y'all all know how I proposed.
Right. Brian Park, hiding in bushes,
ice skating, the whole 9 yards, right? With all y'all pulling up, right? So the train, because we took the train in New York that day, and the train ride back.
Main train ride back.
I asked her about, I was living up north then, so it wasn't too bad. Remember? I was still in.
Oh, yeah.
So at that time, I asked her about 15 times, I kid you not. I was like, all right, so nobody's around. Like, did you really mean yes? Or like, cause remember what I said? Like,
was that a yes?
Like, yes, nigga. Like, get out of my face. I'm like, I'm just
because at that time, your wife is mad relaxed. She's mad relaxed. Yeah. So at that time, I can understand how you're like, yo, we good, right? Like we good. Like we good. So okay, we good. It's like, yeah, nigga, we good.
And on top of that, like when I did say yo, I barely got the words out because I was shaking like I had Parkinson's, right? And I was like, yo, like I was always like, will you, like my man?
From Fresh Prince.
Yeah. So I said it, and her nervousness is now, you know how some people cry and all, she just like laughs hysterical. It ain't shit really that funny, but she just laughs hysterical. So I'd be like, did you answer the question? Like, I don't know. Like, did you say yeah? Like, or did you mean it? Because you was laughing. So I don't know whether you were serious.
Oh, yeah. Can you say it again? One more time.
Yeah. So that's why I really asked, because I was like, I know you was laughing a lot, but I just want to know, was you for real?
Are you dead ass? Okay.
Yeah. Don't leave me hanging.
And I'll be a hypocrite if I didn't acknowledge the fact that my girl and I were friends before we got together. So I wasn't friend zoned. I took myself out of contention. If you know what I mean. No, I don't want.
You know what I mean.
No, I don't want it right now. I'll come around when I'm ready. And I came around. Just to wrap up, this is our final question. To Steve Harvey's point, do you think men are incapable of having friendships with women? Platonic friendships with women?
No.
I think the biggest demise to men in their career and what they're trying to accomplish in life is women, sexual pleasure, or desire. And in midst of that, if to answer that question in a long way, I'm going to say the most important thing is recognizing and mastering. And I know Cleveland talked about this earlier offline, toward mastering. And mastering is more than just art or work, is yourself. It's really mastering who you are as a person, because that translates in everything else that you do. So if you can control the most sexual desires you have with other women, then you've mastered your sexual desire. Then that's mastering of yourself. So I don't think incapable should be in a man's definition or vocabulary. Sure. You know, you should always try. You should never, surrender in that way. So I'm gonna say no. I don't agree with Steve Harvey in that context.
I like it. Cleveland, what say you?
I would have to say no, because I know instances where men and women are friends and that's all that it is. I think what we've talked about on this show, though, is the importance of boundaries, the importance of what can and cannot happen. So the answer is yes, it absolutely can happen, but there has to be boundaries that are established. And with those boundaries, it can be a healthy, functional friendship between a man and a woman, non-sexual, strictly platonic. It can happen. However, those boundaries got to be boundaries, lines that don't get crossed, period. That is it. And that is all. But I know situation where it happens. So I have to say, I don't agree.
Before we wrap up with Zoe, quell your opinion, man. Quell that thing. Just put it away. Relax.
Wait for your wife. Wait for your wife.
Shut up.
Best practice. I'm talking about best practice right now. This is tips. This is actionable items.
Subdue the snake, brother. Because what can happen, to Chef's point earlier, is if you're patient enough, you might get that brunch invite. You might meet your queen.
Might meet your wife.
Or your next ex-girlfriend. Who knows? All right, so
ex-girlfriend conversation another
No,
day.
we don't. You trying to bring some ex-girlfriends on the pod?
I'm all for it.
You ain't about that life.
I don't owe nobody no money.
They owe you something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
$10,000.
I don't feel no type of way.
All right, so answer the question. Do you think that men are incapable of having relationships with women platonically?
I think certain types of men, because you can't, with anything, you can't generalize. Not all black people are monolithic, not all men are monolithic. So there are always creeps in every field of human endeavor, as we like to say. So I think with certain people, but I think sometimes genuine friendships just happen. Like, yo, that's my people. Like, we may have been in class together back in college and we was just like, cool, something funny happened, we laughed, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I never...
Something funny happened, she grabbed your arm and was like, okay.
Something like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like, nah. But I never, I don't agree with that. I think that's just like an extreme situation. I do understand that does happen, but his whole 99%, that's just too much. Like,
so safe to say, Steve, the noobs disagree with you. Sorry about that.
That's that cute talk.
I mean, and not it's the other side of 1911. We ain't got nothing to do with that.
That's that dog talk.
Yeah. We ain't got nothing to do with that. So as we wrap up, pitch it over to Zoe for the Serenity Prayer.
Oh, before I finish and start the Serenity Prayer, Queen of South season 5 is on. I've been watching. I don't know if y'all watched that. It's on USA. It's actually pretty good. If you're into like the whole cartel kind of type vibes, that because you asked that earlier. So
yeah.
I was thinking about. I'm like, damn, what do I watch? I want to ask God, grant me with the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, right? And work husbands is something that I can change. So I need the courage to change the things that I can and the wisdom to know the difference between the two, the real husband and the work husband. Know the difference, women. Know the difference.
It is me. I'm the captain now. That's what your work husband been talking about. That was episode 41 of Juxtaposition.Pod. Let me play something we haven't played in a while. Play this for a little bit because it's been some time since we had a little
You are listening to the smooth sounds of the Juxtaposition podcast. We are here to amplify the voice of the modern black man. Yeah, baby.
This food.
That was good. I wanted to step on that, but I was gonna let that rock. But this
I need something serious.
Is there a heart in the house? Is there a heart in the house?
Yes,
we
there's
will
a heart.
see y'all.
And he ain't at work.
It better not be no heart in no cubicles. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you.
Keep them hearts out of them cubicles.
Or the water cooler.
And we'll see y'all next week.